crafty friends, it's Jess with jesscrafts.com, and today I'm here for Butterfly Reflections Inc. and I'll be sharing this video and this card on their blog and my blog and my YouTube channel and their YouTube channel, so there'll be lots of access to it. And for today's card I am using the Lawn Fawn Fantastic stamp set and some Lawn Fawn paper pads. But right now I'm just showing you some of the other Lawn Fawn that I picked up at the Butterfly Reflections Inc. shop. They have a wide selection of Lawn Fawn available always, and they're a great source. They're always one of the first people to have it and have anything that you could want from it. So if you're a big Lawn Fawn fan like me, it's a great place to get fast, reliable shipping. Besides buying some of the stamp sets and coordinating dies, I also bought some of the standalone dies, and so you see the puffy cloud border die and the wave border die. There's also the grassy border die there, which is not as new, but I'll be accessing the wave dies as well today. And so to get started with my card, I was picking some papers from the Hello Sunshine, the Let's Polka, and the Beach Size Pint Size Patterns. Vanessa and Butterfly Reflections Inc. also carries a lot of the paper pads. I'm a big fan of the Lawn Fawn paper pads and admit to sometimes getting more than one of the pads because they have such great small patterns, perfect for card making and excellent for paper piecing. So what I'm looking for today is some paper to stamp the fish in. So I pulled out that pink scrap and also some paper to make the ocean waves. I'm looking for some semi-solid blues for the ocean water, and I'm going to do some layers of waves, so I need several different blue patterns. And I'm also looking for I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to go with pink and orange for the fish because it will present a nice contrast to the blue and be a good color combination. But I'm also looking to use my scraps. As you see, I store my 6x6 pads in these quart-sized Ziploc bags so that I can store the entire paper pad in there, but also all my scraps so that they're really accessible. And so here I have the orange paper. I wasn't able to find any big enough in my scraps, and so I had to pull out a large sheet, but I'm just going to cut off about a 2-inch strip of it, leaving that 4-inch strip that I can use later. So I cut out my blue papers with the stitched rectangle die because I'm going to be creating a whole panel of the stitched rectangle. And so each blue piece has that little stitching on the sides, and then I'm going to add the waves. The waves are a straight cut, not a stitch, like the puffy cloud borders have a stitch detail to them, I believe, but the waves are just a straight cut. And I am going to be using all 3 different wave dies today to create 3 layers of water that I'll be adding the fish to. And so you see that off to the left there that I just cut the different various blue colors with the 3 different wave patterns. Then I've stamped some of the fish onto the 2 different kinds of pink paper. The pink is very similar in color, but it had 2 different patterns on it just to add some small variation. And I also wanted to make sure that I could get enough fish. I cut out, I would say, about 10 fish in all, but I also made some coral in the pink, and I cut out some rocks from that little scrap of gray that I found so I can really lay more of a scene. I'm going to be doing more of an ocean or I guess lake theme. I don't know if these are ocean fish, but I guess with the coral they'd be ocean fish. So I am going with more of the natural stuff and not like the fish food and things like that because I'm not trying to create like an aquarium theme here. So I then decided to cut them all out with the coordinating dies. Like I said, Butterfly Reflections Inc. stocks both the stamps and the dies. And for these little tiny stamps like this, I thought dies were really necessary. But once I cut it out with the dies, I felt like the patterns kind of overwhelmed these pieces because they are really tiny. I love a lot of the Lawn Fawn in their small patterns, but these ones just needed something for a little definition. So what I decided to do was take a coordinating Copic marker, and where there was traditionally that border around the animals, I colored it with a Copic marker. And I did that after die cutting on the pink, and then I realized it'd be a lot easier if I did that before I die cut on the orange. So here you see the stamped out orange pieces, and I'm adding that YR68 before I go in and cut. You wouldn't need to use Copic markers for this. You could use any marker you have because you're just trying to create a solid line essentially. but I have the Copic marker sitting right there next to me, so it was easy to do, and I had stamped them in the My Favorite Things Black Licorice Hybrid ink, so I knew that would work well with Copics. But any markers you have would work. And the Butterfly Reflections ink shop actually carries Copics now, but they also carry the clear color clean brush pens from Zig. I don't know if I said that right, but I don't have those yet, so I use what I have. And now I've cut out all my different elements, ran my marker around the edges for that little extra definition, and I'm ready to start laying my scene. I decide that I want to create some dimension to it, so I want some of the waves to be flat and then some of them to be popped up. I'm going to be pretty generous with the foam tape because I do want this card not to get crushed if I decide to mail it. And also that foam tape there is actually just something I picked up from my local Dollar Tree, and I like to save money on simple supplies like that so that I have the extra money to splurge on the awesome supplies like Lawn Fawn from Butterfly Reflections ink. So I decided that I would double up one of the layers, so my third layer has one layer of foam tape, and then my fourth layer has 2 levels of foam tape so that there's like a gradual build up and interest there. But I know that on my 4th level I'm also going to want my sentiment, so before I lay down that 2 layer of foam tape, which I got simply by placing the 2 pieces of foam on top of each other, I am going to stamp the sentiment in some archival jet black ink from Ranger. Now I'm ready to start building up the scene and thinking about how far apart I want the waves, because I want to make sure that there is enough room in each section to add some of the fish. My idea here is kind of that back layer, which would be I guess the first layer, is more like the sky, which would also be blue, and so there's not going to be any fish in it. And then it would build up 3 layers on top of that, all with being the ocean, and you know the ocean naturally has some variation in color to it, so that's my whole thought process there. I decided to back it on some orange paper because the stitch rectangle panel is not quite card-based size, and but I didn't want to waste too much of that paper, so I just cut a smaller stitch rectangle out of the center, and then I adhered my ocean panel onto the orange. This helps to tie in the orange because I have a lot less orange fish than I do pink fish. And also orange and blue are opposite on the color wheel, so they always present a really great contrast to each other, and orange will make the blue pop. I've tried to speed up this video quite a bit today because I'm trying to keep it at about 10 minutes. I think a video longer than that is a little bit too much sometimes. I know some people will watch long videos all day and enjoy it, and I love to watch YouTube videos too, so I enjoy longer videos at times. But for the people who don't always have time and do want to see the whole card, all the instructions, I sped it up quite a bit here so I can fit it all in. And I'm trying to lay out my scene, and I'm going to go through a little bit of what my thought process is here. So I had cut out the rocks and the coral to add interest to the scene, but then it occurred to me that you really would only see the coral and the rocks on the bottom layer, and so I probably didn't need as many of them as I had cut out, and so I'll just save them for a different project. And I'm trying to create some visual triangles, trying to balance the pink with the orange. So you see there that the 3 pink fish, well there's like a group of 2 of them, kind of make a visual triangle, and I didn't quite manage to do the same thing with the orange fish, and that's why I wind up adding another, I ran out of orange fish. And so I felt like in the end the orange fish were a little bit too much in a line, and in retrospect I might have mixed it up and formed more of a triangle there. But I do like it being an odd number of orange fish. I think that helps out. And to fill in some of that extra space, I'm going to add these bubbles from the stamp set as well, but I'm stamping them directly onto the paper in the My Favorite Things Black Licorice Hybrid ink because I'm going to just add a little bit of color to them to make them stand out from the paper with some blue Copic marker. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't add it to every single fish, but that I add it in an interesting way in an odd number. Only 5 fish have bubbles coming from them. Just to again keep with that rule of odds, which helps things look more visually appealing, and to work with those visual triangles and just kind of add interest in each little place. So I definitely don't just place things randomly, but it's a little bit hard to explain sometimes why I make the choices, but I try to do that in case it helps other people as they learn to craft and card make. And so that's going to be it for my card today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in more crafty videos, you can subscribe to my channel, or if you're watching this on the Butterfly Reflections Inc. channel, subscribe to their channel where you could see a couple of different artists. I'm going to leave you links to the Butterfly Reflections Inc. store in the video description below, and so you could check out these products and the other Lawn Fawn products they have available. Thanks for watching. Bye.